What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of the Grapple Hook system. In today's episode, we are going to get the coding finished up for the other grapple states and get the system wrapped up to be fully functional. Without further ado, let's get into it. We left off adding our fire grapple state to the attempt grapple function. Let's go ahead and open this stuff up. So, grapple hook system. So no grapple hook component. Our temp grapple function. Last thing we did was add our grapple state, our firing grapple state. So now if you push play now, when you do that, whatever target fire at, that'll be the target. It won't switch targets now, so, and that's fine. That's what we wanted to do. So if you're having issues with that and worried about that after the end of the last tutorial, I probably should have explained that. I apologize. So now we need to get our other functions set up. So we've got our firing to set up, our near target to set up, and our hit target to set up. So we've got our active setup, inactive setup already. So we're going to set up the code for our firing, but first we need to open up our BP grapple hook. BP grapple hook, and we need to create a function in here for our firing. So let's go ahead and create a function, and we're going to call this one distance to target. And we want to make that pure, and we also want to make that constant. We want this to be a constant value, so we need to make that constant. Now in our private variables, we need to get our ending location. And off of that, we need to get distance vector. We need to get our actor location. Plug that into there. And then we need to go ahead and return this. So go ahead and just drag that return value over to the distance to target, and that should create a return node with that return value pin already. Go ahead and plug that in. And compile and save that. So now in our firing function, we got this all set up. So now in our firing function, we want to get our grapple hook. Let's go ahead and get the grapple hook. Hit distance. No. Right click. Get distance to target. Why is that not? That pure. We made it constant. There it is. So we want to get the distance to target function that we just created. That's what I was trying to figure out. So yeah, distance to target. And then we want to promote this into a variable. And we're going to name this to start jump distance. So what this is going to do, when we fire, this is going to make us actually have a little hop, so it gives us our velocity to be able to go over the object. And we want to have a certain distance for that. So we want to go ahead and set that here. So we're going to set that to 500. So basically, when the kunai gets the grapple hook, so the kunai gets 500 from the target, then it's going to do a little hop. We need to set that to private and blueprint read only. Go ahead and compile and save. See, not blueprint writable. Maybe not blueprint read only. Let me double check that real quick. Open my project. Okay, I see what I did here. So we promote that to a variable, and then you go ahead and get rid of that, and then we're gonna do a less than. And we're gonna add a branch in here. So that way it only fires if we're that jump distance. And then we should be able to make that blueprint. Yeah, there we go. That still needs to be set to 500. We did do that correctly. And then we want to get our owning character. And we want to launch character from true. Launch. There we go. So off of owning character, connect that to true. We're going to set our Z velocity here. We're going to set to 500. And we're going to override the XY and override the Z. Go ahead and compile and save that. And then we're going to set our grapple state. So Alt and release, set your grapple state. And we're going to set that to near target. So now, let's go check that out. When we shoot it, should do a little hop. As you see, it's still going past and stuff, so we're all right. But it gives you that little hop right there at the start of shooting, firing the grapple hook. That's just going to give us that little extra oomph upwards so that we can get over the object that we're grappling to get to the landing position. So we can go ahead and compile and save that, and let's move on to our near target. So our event graph, if you go over to our event graph, we've done our inactive. That's what we set up first. Now we've got our firing state set up. So now we're going to go into our near target. So you can double click that. What we're going to do here, so we're going to get our owning character. We're going to get the velocity. Get velocity. Scroll down to the bottom, get that. We're going to split the struct of the return value. And from our Z, if it's less than or equal to 0, add a branch. So we can plug that condition into our branch. So if our owning character's Z value is less than or equal to 0, we're going to get our owning target, our owner to target macro. And we're going to promote this to the normal variable, and then we're going to set that to private. Let's see, we're going to name this character initial direction. You can go ahead and set this to the true. And we're going to set this to private. And we can drag that into our private category. I believe, yeah, our start jump distance we can drag into our private category also. And then from here, we're going to set the grapple state again. And we're going to set that to hit target. So when we're near our target, it's going to check the Z value, see if it's less than or equal to. If that's true, it's going to get the character initial direction from our owner to target. So it's going to get our character target location and subtract our owning character's actor location and then normalize that into a value of 1. So that's going to get our character's initial direction, and then that's going to set our grapple state to hit target. So let's just go ahead and go into our hit target, and we'll get our hit target set up, and then we'll just test it out after we get that set up. This one's going to be a little bit longer to do here, but we'll get it knocked out real quick. So we're going to get our owning character. From our owning character, so we get distance 2. We want to get our current target. So our current target, get our current target. I'm going to connect that to our other actor. And then off of our get distance 2, we want to do less than. And then our jump start, we're going to duplicate that. So click on our start jump distance, duplicate that. We're going to name that end jump distance. And then we need to compile that. Let's set the end jump distance to 100. And then we want to connect that to bottom of our less than. So if our owning character and our current target is the distance 2 is less than the end jump distance, so 100 on the Z velocity. I want to add a branch here. B, click, B for boy. We want to plug that condition into our branch. And then we're going to do our false first. So we want to get our owner to target macro. We want to multiply that by the character's grapple speed. Set up character grapple speed yet. We have not, so I think we need to, yep. So this needs to be a float, single precision, and then we're going to promote this to a variable. And then we're going to call this, character, if I can type today, grapple speed. Go ahead and compile that. And we're going to set that to 1500. That's going to be the speed that we're going towards the target once we grapple it. You can set that to whatever whatever speed you want, whatever value. And then we also need to get our owning character. We need to get the movement component. So get movement component. Be down here at the bottom. And we want want to set velocity, and we're going to plug this into our false. Double click so you can make a reroute node, clean this up a little bit, and then this is going to plug into our velocity. So basically what this is going to do is, like I said, this is going to be our character speed. So it's going to multiply it by our owner to target, so our normalized value for our character's location, to pull us towards the target. And we get the owning character's movement component is what's going to be the target of that. And then that's it for the false side. True side, we want to launch character again, because when we get to the target, so we need to get our owning character to launch character, connect that to our true. Let's go ahead and move this over. Move this up. We're going to need some space here, actually. Let's go ahead and move this down some. Should be good for now. And then we want to get our character's initial direction. And we want to multiply this. And we want to multiply this by a float. So go ahead and right click on your B pin. Float single precision. We're going to set this to 200. We're going to split the struct of our third pin there. And that's going to give us the X, Y, and Z value. We can go ahead and split the struct of our launch velocity here on our launch character. So split the struct on that. We're going to connect our X and our Y from here. And then from our Z, we want to get the max. So max float. Set that to 700. And then we're going to override the XY, and we're going to override the Z. And then we're going to set current target. No, that's not the right one. No, we need to set this current target, I believe. No, we need to set our current target function. I'm thinking it's the variable for some reason. We need to set our function. That way it resets our target. That's what we're doing there. Because it's going to set our current target, and we're not going to plug anything into here. So it's going to reset our target once we've grappled the target, which is going to make it really handy for us to be able to grab other targets as soon as we grapple. So we can grapple and start getting pulled to it. As soon as we hit the target, then we're going to be able to grapple at another target. So off of our set current target, our resetting our target, we need to destroy actor. And we need to get our grapple line, grapple cable. Let's go ahead and get our grapple hook too, because we're going to destroy that one as well. Destroy actor. And then we're going to set our grapple cable afterwards. That way it's reset. We're going to make sure it's we're going to, just to be sure, on the safe side there. And then we're going to destroy actor here as well. You can duplicate that and then just drag your grapple hook into it. And then we're going to set the grapple hook afterwards again as well. And then once we do that, we can set our grapple state. And we're going to set that back to inactive, so that once we're done grappling, the grapple state is inactive. So we can go ahead and compile and save and test that out. And now that's pulling us to, and we're hopping up over the top of the grapple point. And you do have control. See, once you hit the grapple point, You can immediately grapple another point. Now we still do have the issue where our grapple line is not stopping at the target, so we're going to get that fixed. Alright, so what we need to do is go back to our BP grapple. We're going to set up our code in here to make the grapple hook and line stop at the target. So we need to go to our event graph actually. We're going to make an event tick. We're going to do an event tick in the event graph. We need to get actor location. Get actor location. From our actor location, we need distance squared. The reason we're going to do squared is just a little bit less resource intensive. And then we need to get our starting location and connect that to our V2 pin there. And then from our return value, we want a greater equal. Move this down a little bit. And then we want to get our starting location again. So you can just duplicate your starting location. Control D after you click on it to duplicate it. And we also want our target. So get your target. We want to get target's actor location. So get actor location. And then we want to get the distance squared here again. We're going to plug that into the V1, and we're going to plug our starting location into the V2 again. So vector 1 and vector 2, that's what that stands for, because those are vector pins. So, and then we're going to plug that into the bottom return. Just clean this up a little bit. You don't necessarily have to do this, it's just the way I like to have things. Then we're going to create a branch up here. Go ahead, connect that to your event tick. We're going to connect this to the condition. All right, and then from our branch, we're going to set actor location. Go ahead and drag off. We got some code we're going to have to put before this, but set actor location. All right, so now for our location, we're going to set our location. We need our starting location. So get your starting location. And we also need our ending location, and we're going to set the distance. This one's just distance vector. We don't need to do the squared. Plug those in to vector 1 and vector 2. And this one we're going to multiply. We need to move this one down. So control, grab that, move it down. And then we want to set our direction. We need to set this to vector. And then set our direction into that. And then we need to add. We're going to add our starting location onto this. So move that one down again. And then we're going to plug our starting location into that one. And that's going to be our new location. And then we also want to make sure that we tick on the teleport box there. And then we want to get our projectile movement, and we're going to set the velocity on this. Set velocity, and we're going to leave that at 0. So that's going to reset the velocity on the grapple hook. Compile and save that. Let's go ahead and test that out. And as you see, that stops right at the target. And now we can move from different targets and stuff. So next thing I want to do is we're just going to go ahead and stay in our map editor here. We're just going to edit some of these boxes. Grab a box, hit R, and just adjust that box to where it goes up higher. We want to just make sure that, nope, I didn't mean to do that. We just want to make sure that we're able to grapple at high points and low points. Make sure that we're picking our targets up if they are at a higher point or a lower point. So we want to make sure that that's all working as well. So after you do that, go ahead and play again. Yeah, looks like you're able to see him. Let's go ahead and grapple to it. And able to grapple right up to it. And see, that's why we do that little hop, because when you get these high points like that and you're coming from a low spot, that little hop there right at the end, that helps you get up over your spot or where you're trying to grapple to. We're still able to grapple around. And just for a little additional thing, if you want to go ahead and change your character, you can go into your third person character folder here. You can go to blueprints, open your BP third person character, and we're going to go ahead and switch that to Manny Simple. Compile and save that. And then now we have Manny Simple. As long as it's in that character blueprint, you now have this set up. As long as you have your kunai, and you got to make sure that if you're migrating it, you migrate your whole folder over. That's why we set that up to where the kunai and stuff was in the folder. I wanted everything to be in the folder, so it makes it easy for you guys to migrate it into a different project and just add it to that character. Play around with the values and stuff. Add animations at the beginning of the jump, the end of the jump. You can play with the UI stuff. If you want to do different things with the UI, you can do that with the targets to where it grows in size. I actually have a preview video. That's how I have it set up in my main project. Is the target actually grows in size the closer you get to it. Not something that we're going to do in this series. I just wanted to show you guys how to get the base system set up and get the base system set up. Now it's up to you guys to play with it. By all means, show me what you guys come up with in the showcase channel in the Discord. So that's going to be the end of this series. We've wrapped this one up. I hope you enjoyed the series. Do me a favor, click the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.